No, it doesn't. Well, he has his own like YouTube channel. Oh yeah. He's all about
Hey Daisy, when is the skirt party?
after this. I just can't give you an exact time right now. That's a good time.
Can you ride with us?
Yeah, there is another.
Oh.
Well, he's wearing shirtless. So. Before you know it, yeah.
I'm going on the ride with them.
Get ready for Easter.
Get ready, Adam.
Yeah.
How many days you going?
We could go get on that bus and we could go.
Friday morning? Watch them on Let me see.
Oh my God! Look at her.
Oh, she looks so
Yes.
bachelorette party. I know the boys aren't going.
Rachel's interviewing.
So he's not pushing any back. Right, to process this. Oh, he literally just. Do you have a boyfriend? Okay. They live together. Oh, they live together in the well. Oh, they did? They both live in Morgan. Oh, this is Daphne place. I'm Stephanie.
Oh, maybe you'll be very excited.
Yeah.
Is our day long?
Are they long?
Yeah.
You might feel like it at the end. Your feet might feel a little bit.
Daisy, I'm excited to be with you.
I was about to say, what was that? Hey, what are we waiting for? And I'm not even taking the school bus home today.
This is like a school bus.
It's like a school bus, but better.
How many girls? 4 you.
Oh, yeah. Who was Eddie down there? My fans are.
I want to hold the phone. All right, there we go.
She is just right?
All right,
I know. They're all great.
So what are we waiting?
I'm excited to ride the Sky Park. I've seen the movie on Saturday.
Sean, did
Good
you?
morning.
Oh.
How's everybody doing today? Good. Welcome to the world famous San Diego Zoo. My name is George. I'm going to be your tour guide for this one round. Any first timers on board? First timers? All right, me too. Well, hey Dad, it's first of the day for me. Let's go exploring. Let's go see what's going on around the zoo. What we're going to do on this trip is we're going to be seeing about half of the zoo, and I'll point out those areas that we will not be covering. But you can come back a little bit later on, do some exploring all on your own. Think about the smaller stuff, like the birds and the primates. Right down this path to the right. Nice gorillas, orangutans, bonobos, all sorts of fun things over there. And then directly ahead of us, we have the reptile house, the Sky Car ride. And notice the Sky Car ride cables, they drop off pretty much right behind the exit. So think about that a little later when you're tired. Sky Car ride drops you up right at the front, right at the exit. And that should be opening up in a little while. Also in that area, you're going to find the newest section of the zoo called Wildlife Explorer Space Camp. All sorts of really neat things for the kids to see, do, and learn. Safety rules, very important of course. If you have body parts, please keep them inside the bus at all times. If you'd like to stand up, you may do so, but please hold on to the rails provided around you. And there is absolutely no standing on the seats or sitting on trails, especially those of you on the upper deck. And those of you on the upper deck, I have a camera in front of the bus. I can see everything you're doing up there. Right there. And if you have cell phones, please put them on silent or vibrate mode, and just please no phone calls while you're on the bus. Now that's all done and over with, let's start our adventure by entering Tiger Trail. Tiger Trail is one of the zoo's first space and put animals and plants in the same regions of the world, all grouped together so you can kind of see what it looks like out in the wild, get some natural behaviors of the animals. And here, you can find a few different species of birds, some mammals, some reptiles, all from the Southeast Asian rainforest. In just a few moments, we're going to make an attempt at finding ourselves some tigers. The only thing is we do not always get to see them from the bus. Reason being, look to the right. And I don't see much going on. Did anybody see tiger in there? Yeah. Tiger, Bueller. No? Fine. See none of them. A lot of tigers on their coffee break. We have the Malayan tiger, second to the smallest of the tiger family. Males can get to be somewhere around 350 pounds. For those of you that are familiar with the zoo, you probably remember that lately we have had the hippos in a different part. Normally we have them here, but they have been over by the Jurassic World up until about 3 days ago. They were placed back in here, although I do see a keeper in the right now, so I have a feeling that we won't be seeing them right now. But maybe later on, we might be able to catch a little glimpse of them ourselves. For the meantime, it would be only on buses. Right now they do still have the screens up in the front there, probably giving the hippos a little bit of time to adjust to their new environment again. We have one female and one young female, her daughter. Next. Excuse me. Next we're going to be hoping for some primates. Okay, so we have some Gwendens. I do see one right up at the front right over here. Got a little itch, it looks like. Here is one of our Gwendens. And some of the adults here rescued from a market in Africa. They were going to be sold as other pets or even bushmeat. And it's good to rescue animals from the wild that have such a grim future, because not only will they survive, they'll also be introducing new genes to those that are found in zoos. Otherwise, you'd end up with a lot more disease and just a whole host of problems. You have some little ones in there too. There's 4, one of which is super tiny. It's adorable. But if you do come back, see them goofing off, spend some of your time close, you're definitely going to enjoy. Flamingos, you saw them when we first entered. Those up top are the Caribbean flamingos. These here are the lesser flamingos. Did you know flamingos are pretty much white? They get their coloration from the food that they eat. In the shell of the shrimp, there's keratin, and that little compound is what gives them that coloration. And by the way, when you folks come into the zoo, you have a couple of options of bus systems. Right now, you're obviously on the bus tour, but you also have access for the kangaroo bus as much as you wish. Look to your left. You see a little kangaroo sign with the number 2 on there right here? This is where you pick up those kangaroo buses. Kangaroo buses come by each one of these stops about every 15 minutes or so. And those buses look a lot like this bus here, but they have a yellow sign up front that says kangaroo bus. And what they're going to be doing is they're going to be doing a similar route that we're going on. They're just not narrated. They're not quickly dropping off and picking people up. So think of them as a type of a shuttle system to help you out your feet. We have lots of hills and valleys in the zoo, folks. This will here be the steepest one that we have. No need to be doing these on your own. Use those kangaroo buses here there for you. And they come by every 15 minutes or so. As you look to the right, you'll be seeing here a huge antelope eating right in the center area. That little mound. This here is a giant eland, largest of the antelope family. Males have been going to be somewhere around 1,000 pounds. Behind him and slightly to the left by the wall, you'll see some zebras, at least a very rent of those. Those are the grubby zebras, one of the 3 different types. And atop the environmental reason why these animals are endangered, I was reading an article that explained how there is a blood disease going around in Africa that was really affecting them. Other side of the wall, 2 different types of antelopes. The smaller ones you can see right up in the foreground. They're all laying down right now. But they have a single band going across their body horizontally. Those would be the Sphinx gazelles. Very, very rare to see those antelopes. But we did get quite a bit of babies like this last year. You might find some larger ones in there too. They're usually up in the upper portions. They have multiple stripes going down the body vertically, and those are the lesser cooties, and those have beautiful spiral-shaped horns. Both of these species from Africa. Alright, let's see if the polar bears are out. We'll look over here on the left. I'm going to go ahead and set the brakes here. That way I can stand up myself and see what's going on in there. Alrighty, I'm looking, I don't see this. Oh, I think I see one way in the very back. Alright, so there is there's another one right in that little center island there between the glasses.
Eating a fish.
Oh, folks, they got live fish. I was just told by the keeper right this second. Alright, so they got live fish in there, so that means they are going to be swimming around and doing all sorts of really cool things as well. And so having all 3 of them are there too. So there's the big boy, he's in the center. He's right by all those people there by the glass. So let's observe for a moment here too, because they'll probably be chasing those fish. It is part of our enrichment. And enrichment is basically something. It can be a toy, food, something that gets them excited, gets them motivated to do all sorts of different behaviors, and always try and encourage all those natural behaviors. So that's one of the things that we do with the critters here at the zoo as well. Oh, is he coming out? Is he going to push her out of the way? He might do that. Let's see. What's going to happen? What happens? Happen? How's that one? But you can see the size difference there. The male on the left, he's about 1,100 pounds or so. The females are about half that size. Oh, there he goes. Okay, those folks that were standing right in front, they got to see that big old splash, and they had a good time at that gym. That is cool. Oh, it looks like you got something. See something in the mouth. Notice that bird that's there with them too, and then some duckies walking over this way. Well, sometimes they land a little bit too close to the polar bears, and we end up with a National Geographic moment here too. Because you do a lot of things with the polar bears, or with the animals. One of the big things is research. And some of the stuff can be some pretty heavy-duty stuff, or simple things like the nutritional needs of the animals. And then once we realize what they require, as in the case of the polar bears, and we have to adjust a little bit, they can survive these much warmer areas. So the food that they have, the live fish, like I mentioned a second ago, that's probably going to keep them entertained for a while, because they're not going to be able to catch everything all at once. But here's what I always encourage people to do. Get here early. After about noonish, 1 o'clock, they usually go to the back, they clock out, they go to sleep, they only work part-time. So, got to see them early, but I have a feeling that they might be a little bit more active, a little bit more than they typically are. But that was a really good view of them. I'm happy with that. Hopefully you are too. And to give you an idea, that male, he is so tall that if he was able to stand up next to buses, he'd be able to shake hands with everyone upstairs. He was just that
I
tall.
want to keep them.
And then to the right, is we have the Bonta Box. Bonta Box was incredibly endangered species of antelope. At one point, only 17 of them are left, but there's been lots of breeding on in South Africa. We ourselves have all had quite a bit of babies, so I think they'll be okay in the future. Just got to keep up that hard work to help them out. So over here we have a Garanux, one of my favorites. Very long neck, they say they can reach up a little higher after the gazelles cannot be able to reach your food. And they can stand up with their hind legs or reach up a bit further. Then over here, but you've got peccaries, oh, they're all over the place. These are found in Central South America, the areas of Monaco. Now they've been around for quite some time, in fact, ever since the Ice Age, they are considered to be a living fossil. And they are relatively heavily known as the North Desert. And here's the Skyfire ride again. Remember, this will drop you off right at the front, right at the exit. It's a 4-minute ride. Come up there, get a pretty neat bird's eye view of the zoo and the downtown San Diego.
We should do that next.
Now, on the right, we have the 4D Theater, one of the ways that we fundraise for a lot of things that we do all around the world, and even here at home, such as the new area of Base Camp. So, we're not a profit organization, though, so we desperately depend on you folks being here and any other additional purchase you might be making. That is what helps us scale. Little did you know that just by walking through the gates today, you're already heroes and allies for wildlife, so thank you. And then on the left, we have stop number 3 for the kangaroo bus. I will be pointing out all the stops as you pass by them. As you look to the right, well, first of all, right now we're in the very back portions of the zoo, so generally speaking, it would take about 30 to 40 minutes to walk to the front and to the exit, but a few summers ago, we did something. On the right, other side of those umbrellas, we have a bridge. It connects the back of the zoo where we are now to the front of the zoo. It is a 6-minute walk, super, super easy. So here's what I want you to remember out of everything I tell you today. Stop 3, least amount of walk to get to the front and to the exit. Either by flying across on the Skyfire ride or walking across that bridge. I've been here for 40 years, folks. I don't know what you think about a bridge before, but we have it going on now, so take advantage. Then to the left, we have some little critters. They're in the front corners of the area on either side. See them over there, little guys? Alright, so these are the rock, the rock hyrax. You can see the faces of the ones on the right over there. Alright, here's what I want you to do. Look at them for a moment, study them for a second. What do you figure this animal might be related to? What does it look like? What do you think? A gopher, a herd of prairie dog. So rodent types, right? Mice, rats, guinea pigs, groundhogs, prairie dogs, all of that stuff makes sense. But believe it or not, this here is a relative of the elephant. I know, you're gonna look at them, you're gonna give it a George for breakfast, but it's true. Dental structure, skeletal structure, the footprints that it possesses is a relative of the elephant. Now check this out, elephants are related to manatees. That's a relative to the manatee as well. Is that a kick or what? Move up on the right. Oh, we're gonna get a pretty good view here, look at this. We have the lions, male in the back right, female in the front left. You know, the females that basically do all the work. They go out and hunt, bring back to the entire family, and they're also responsible for bringing up the young. In the meantime, the male spends most of his day just sleeping, and he can't sleep but at 20 hours a day. It's a pretty rough life. And then over here, we have a jaguar. Let's see if it's available for us. We're looking at the cave in the front right corner. Looking at the grassy area. Looking at the water's edge. Up in the trees. And I see a big fat zero. Alright, fine. Fine. Alright, just go back a little later for them. But this whole area here is known as Elephant Odyssey. And the majority of the land is devoted to the elephants. Now, of course it would be. They're huge animals, of course. And I just see one way over there on the extreme left-hand side. There you go. And that right there, I believe, is our newest male that we just received a few days ago. Yeah, I think that's the new male. He's 20 years old is what I know about him. He came from the Safari Park or sister facility up north. And on the other side of the bars, you can see another one over there. I think that's one of the young males on the other side there too. So right now, you can say they're kind of in quarantine a little bit. They are having the elephants see each other, smell each other, maybe touch each other a little bit. But there's a barrier. They're getting introduced. Once they all start getting introduced and everything, they'll probably be all together again. But there you go. And at this point, there's only 2 types of elephants left in the world out of the 600 different types of elephants that used to roam there at that one point. Now there's just African and Asians. And how do you tell them apart? You look at their ears. Africans like these have much bigger ears. Asians, on the other hand, they have much smaller ears. So simple as that. But all the elephants have about 100,000 muscles in their trunks alone. And just by itself, that trunk can weigh about 400 pounds. And they have approximately the same lifespan as humans. It's about 65 years. And the longest gestation period of all animals is about 22 and a half months. What do you think of that, Lee? That's almost 2 years. And babies can all the way up to 300 pounds. Try that on for size. Okay, folks. There is training going on. So take a look here. Have some training going on. So here's what you do. I'm going to pause here for a second and let you enjoy. I'm not going to speak on the microphone. Once we pass the birds, then I'll tell you what we're witnessing and what we do here. So just enjoy for a few moments. And it will be off the microphone. In the meantime, enjoy. Just watch what they do. Care center. And those pens there, the elephants have access to in and out as they please. They don't have to go in if they don't want to, but that's why they do. Lots of activity, training, and lots of treats. Think of a circus for a moment. You know how the elephants lift up their trunk, which makes for a neat picture. They would do it for a different reason. That way the keepers can see inside of the mouth. Take a look at the tongue, the roof of the mouth. Make sure they're in excellent conditions. And ladies, you're going to love this part too. Exactly what you witnessed there now. They are taught to present their feet. Why? Because they get a pedicure. Did you notice that's what was going on over there? They're getting a pedicure. Each one gets one once a week, and they can spend all the way to 20 minutes per foot. So do we spoil them, or do we spoil them? So that's what was going on there. Here's we have Shaba. She's the biggest and heaviest animal that we have on the ground. She is about 8,800 pounds. She lost some weight. She used to be 9,000, so maybe they had her on a diet or something like that, I guess. But she came to the Reed Park Zoo in Tucson, Arizona. And one of the things that I had noticed, the young males that we have here, when we received them here, I want to say about 3 years ago, something like that, they would see the female, or well, let me phrase it this way. When the females would pay attention to them, then they would start performing. They would start shifting each other around, trying to impress the females. It was actually quite hilarious. I guess boys will be boys. So, she's gone. All righty, we'll see you later, Missy. She's coming back around. That's pretty cool, eh? And down the right we have some camels. These are the dromedary camels, the single-hung camels you're going to find in Africa. Thousands of these exist, just all domesticated. In other words, somebody owns them. And different is the story with the other type of camel. The Bactrian camels are the double-hung camels you're going to find in China, Mongolia, those regions. And those other ones are outrageously endangered due to all the previous overhunting. And then this next area is the Native Rescue Center breeding facility for a very endangered bird. Here's where you have the California condors. California condors have been soaring over our skies for thousands of years, but in the 80s, only 22 of them were left, and that's it, 22. But the San Diego Zoo, San Diego Safari Park, the LA Zoo's done an intensive breeding program with them, and because of those efforts, now there's somewhere around 500. So from 22 to around 500, I think that's a pretty good number increase, but by no means out of the woods so critically endangered. And we do a lot of things here in the zoo, folks. We do a lot of breeding. Obviously, we do a lot of research, I can point out, with the polar bears, and also a lot of reintroductions of endangered species. More than half of the population now has been released back out to the wild. We released them in Northern California, those are the latest ones, down to Mexico and as far east down to the Grand Canyon, again, just trying to put them all back into their natural habitat. It's a big bird, wingtip to wingtip, 9 feet. That's the width of this double-decker bus you're riding on right now. It's a very big bird. You'll see some birdies over there towards the extreme left on that little rock formation. Those are some ravens, but they are different than the ones that we have here. These are the ones from Canada. And believe it or not, folks, they do sound different. They have an accent. And then here on the left, stop number 4 for the kangaroo. And then on the right, have the meerkats. I heard we got a new one this morning. Let's see. I see one towards the extreme left. There's actually 2, maybe 3. No, I think it's 2. Towards the left, right in front of the big ficus tree there. But you know, whenever the group is out, you're always going to find at least one of them somewhere in there. Usually up on the high point, looking out for any predators, like birds of prey, other mammals. Favorite food, scorpions, and they are immune to the scorpion venom. They're found in the southwestern parts of Africa. And this to the right is the Kobe. A Kobe is a formation of volcanic rock out in the middle of Africa. It can usually hold water through the rainy season, therefore sustain small animal life, just like this little guy. Because we have a cliff springer. That's an adult size. They do not get very large at all. And you might even notice that it doesn't move very much. That way they are less conspicuous to the predators, especially since cheetahs and notorious are hanging around these areas. And then here we are at the upper edges of Africa Rocks. Africa Rocks features animals and plants from Madagascar and from Africa. This top portion of the areas are going to find some cool vegetation. And sure, maybe not very lush, maybe not even pretty flowers, but a lot of this stuff here is outrageously rare. Some of this stuff is incredibly endangered. So you come back here a little bit later on, folks. Spend some extra time, take a look at the vegetation, because you'll probably see things here that you may not see elsewhere. And down this road to the right, that's where you're going to find stop number 1 for the kangaroo bus. As you look down there, you'll be seeing the sign there. There's the light post right next to it. Now you know where all the kangaroo stops are located. And they will go into that one section that we do not. That's where you're going to find the giraffes, the cheetahs, and some porcupines, along with all sorts of other little goodies in there as well. And then we're heading downhill. If you ever wondered what it looked like back when the dinosaurs were around, I have a little something here that may help you. Look on the left. Kind of behind these benches, those are nature palm trees, not big huge ferns. These are types of cycads, and the cycad family has been around ever since the dinosaur age. Very slow growing, very ancient, very endangered. Found in Africa, Asia, Australia, the Americas, so pretty much everywhere. Oh, look on the right. Back right hand corner, you can see a bear, actually 2. These here are the sloth bears. Sloth bears are found in India and the surrounding areas. And they have a rather interesting way of gathering some of their food. They love insects. So look for an anthill or a termite mound with their long claws. They'll dig a little hole. But their slightly exaggerated lips that will cover the hole figure that of a suction to get the insects out. It's the only bear that does that. We're going down Bear Canyon. We have 4 types of bears, 3 of which you might get the opportunity to see. So I already saw 1. And all the bears have duplexes of side-by-side homes. Oh, here's another really, really good view. Boy, we're scoring with the bears today. We saw the polars and we saw the sloth right now. Now we're seeing the browns. Right now, much annoying. Brown bear and black bear, what is the difference? Well, nothing to do with its coloration. It has to do with the hump that they have on the shoulders. Brown bears have a hump, black bears do not. So there's some brown bears that are black, some black bears that are brown. You're looking for that hump. Also, they get much bigger. These get to be somewhere around 1,000 pounds. The black bears, maybe 400 to 600 pounds. So a little difference. And they eat quite a bit of food, up to 70 pounds of fish in just one sitting. That's a lot of fish tacos. Almost had some pounds of food as well.
Yes.
Bet you they're enjoying it. Can't quite see what they have, but they eat a lot of meat here. We'll give them some veggies as well. Sometimes they'll give them live cricket, and that's always really good to see them chasing around little tiny crickets. And I see the spectacle bears. Oh, we're going to get an awesome view here. Look at this. Oh, this is wonderful. So what you're looking at here are the spectacle bears. And we do have Mom right now. She's the one sitting up and nursing right now. We do have the two youngsters. But the youngsters are getting old, so every once in a while I do see the female kind of letting them know that it's getting close to time, you know. So, oh yeah, they were born December 10 of, not last year, but the year before, so they're what, a little over a year old now? Year and 3 months or so. And Mom did not bring them out into the yard here until they were about maybe 6 months old, something like that. And she wanted to make sure that they were strong enough. Everything is safe out here, everything's up to par. And I was here the first day that she brought them out to the world. Oh, they were adorable. They were tiny though. Seriously, really, really tiny. And they tried following Mom, and she climbed it to the very top there. They tried doing the same thing, but they couldn't. They only went up maybe 2 or 3 feet, and they kind of lost their grip, fell down, rolled around. It's actually quite adorable. But the next day they were seriously all the way up there to be loved. And folks, it doesn't matter what zoo you go to, nor does it matter what animals are, but if you do see baby animals that are a few weeks old, few months old, spend extra time because you see a lot of behaviors now that you simply will not be seeing a little bit later on. So I would recommend if you come back around this area and you see them different enough, spend a lot of time. 10, 15 minutes, folks, you're going to see a lot of really cool things. They're found in South America, the only bear that's found in South America. It's also the most endangered species of all the bears, and that's due to all the deforestation going on down there in South America. So folks, they're even more endangered than pandas. And you see the youngsters now, they're starting to goof off a little bit. They do wrestle around a lot. Sometimes they'll fall off of the structure there. Sometimes they'll be downstairs, or down the floor, standing up bipedally, in other words, on their back legs, and kind of chasing each other around. They really, really are a lot of fun. Sometimes they'll steal food from each other. So that's going to be I was going to say a good photo, but he turned around the other way. The larger of the two is a young male, by the way. Males are typically larger than females. But I'll tell you what, though. Let me give you 30 seconds or so of peace and quiet. Let's just enjoy these here for a few moments. See what they do.
Yeah, a lot of food.
Mom looks a little worn out, doesn't she? One thing I've been noticing from her as well is she's giving them some space. She'll walk away from them, she'll go to the other side. So either she's trying to give some independence, or she might be getting tired of them, I don't know. It's probably the latter one, by the way. All right, kids, we'll see. They're going over there on the right. They're going to start fixing the shavings over there to make a little bedding. Is he going to take a nap? He or she? Can't quite tell anymore. Mom's got a little itch. There. Bank of elevators all transport you out of the canyons. The only way out of these canyons, folks, is by going uphill. Don't do it. Just take those elevators up. Once you get up to the tippy top stairs, it takes a 5-minute walk to the front. Super, super easy. But you get to the front of the zoo so much quicker by taking those elevators up than walking all the way down to Stop Zoo to catch the kangaroo. So just use those elevators, especially if you have walking difficulties. And now the books will be on the left. They'll probably be in the very back and top of the boulders and rocks, how they get up there after what they do. When you think of penguins, you probably think of them being in the water all the time, but they're not really. They're only in the water when they're looking out for food. Aside from that, they're usually just chilling in the back, huddled up together, probably just gossiping about each other or something. We have a bunch. There's 31. It's just that they're small, we're far away, best to see them on foot. But here's where they like to hang out. Toward the right-hand section of the air. See that glass area over there? That's where they like to hang out. So just go back a little bit there. You can see some of them a little bit through this one little viewing section there. Just take a look. There's at least 3 there. But you might notice how there's nothing that resembles snow or ice. It's not even white. That's because out of the 17 species of penguins, only 4 of them are found in the Antarctic region. All the others are much warmer areas. The ones that we have here are from South Africa. When you get back, you'll be seeing 5 different types of lemurs, which are basically a primitive type of primate that's found in Madagascar. In the very back, there's an aviary that you can walk through and enjoy some of the birdies that we have here from Africa. We have red monkeys, leopards, the different species, smaller mammals, reptiles, and a couple different types of animals. So really, there's a lot of stuff to see around here. So definitely come on back.
Right.
The koalas are next. They should be back on the right side of the bus. We have the boys on this side of the aviary. They are solitary when referred to as territorial, which typically makes it easier for us to find. Is that going to be the case today? Let's find out. Oh, there's a right. Oh, and it's got a major hitch there. Look at that. Oh yeah, it's distracting. Imagine that with a banjo right there. And the fact that it's awake, folks, is another extension. The fact that it's awake is a really, really big treat because they sleep a lot. They can sleep up to 20 hours a day. So basically, they wake up, eat, go back to sleep. If there's a little bit of time, they might even breathe, folks. That is about it. These are the northern koalas from northern Australia. There's the southern koalas, which are a little bit more on the brown side. They have woollier ears, so they look similar, but you do see a major difference in what we typically think of as a koala. Let's go up to the top there now. And we have the largest collection of koalas found outside of Australia. Up to date, we've already had over 170 babies born here, so it's very, very large. And the reason that we have done so well is because we are able to grow foods for a lot of animals that have specialized diets. And then, for example, we offer them about 35 different types of eucalyptus. All the very tall, shaggy-leaved trees you see all around us, way out there in the distance, those are all examples of eucalyptus. And we also send out foods to other zoos that cannot grow their own food. So I've been talking to you quite a bit about endangered animals. How about some endangered plants? We'll be over here on the left. On the left-hand side, you'll see a blue Africa rock sign. To the left of it there, looks like a little palm tree leaning out to the left a smidge, right there at the edge. That's a type of cycad called Encephalotus lineifrons. We brought in a bunch of experts, all of them saying the same thing. It is believed that that plant might be about 500 years old. That's the oldest plant that we have in the zoo. To the right of the Africa rock sign, another one that looks like a palm tree. That right there is a different species, Encephalotus woodii. That cycad is completely extinct out in the wild. You're only going to find them in some selected zoos, botanical gardens, and propagation centers. That is the only one that we have here. And one thing that I learned just recently, it looks like there might only be about a dozen of those plants left in the entire world. So I have a feeling that plant might be on its way out, but we'll see what we can do about that. We do a lot of work with animals, but we also do a tremendous amount of work with plants. Right now we're doing a lot of tissue culturing, growing plants from tissue. We do that with orchids, coral trees, bamboo, even some fruits. Lots of stuff going on behind the scenes. And next I'll talk to you about an animal that we probably will not see, but it merits talking about it and you'll understand why. On the left, Tasmanian devils. First of all, one of the 6 zoos that have in the Americas, right off the bat, they're very, very rare. But here's what's going on with them. They're suffering big time. There is this massive disease, a very contagious virus causing these cancerous tumors on their faces. I've seen pictures online. It's actually very, very sad. This is how bad it is right now. 85% of the population has been destroyed because of that disease. 85%. That's almost all of them. So we, along with a handful of zoos outside of Australia, have been started a breeding colony to help them out. But the neatest thing, recently the Australian government released a whole bunch free of that disease into a different island that has some Tasmanian devils to start a breeding colony there. I think they're going to be okay. It's going to take a number of years to get that population back up, so you got to come back and enjoy. Now with that, folks, our time together has come to a close, and I would like to thank all of you for visiting us here today. Just by walking through those gates, not only did you help us out, but also programs worldwide that this is involved with. Over 140 programs all around the world. Over 40 different species of animals are released back out to the wild, and none of this work can we do without you. You being here is really helping us out with all those conservation efforts that we're working with all around the world that are helping to create a world where all life can thrive. So thank you. Ahead of us is what you're going to find in front of the zoo, the exit, birds, primates, and reptiles. Behind us we have the giraffes, some of the bears, and some of the antelopes. Go ahead and look all around your seats and make sure you're taking all your belongings with you. And those of you that are upstairs, I'll be up there in just 1 second to let Jack get the description. Again, thank you very much. Hope that you enjoy the rest of your stay here at the San Diego Zoo. We'll see you later, folks. Last one, that is a wrong name.